Hello and welcome. In this video we're going to be talking about the usefulness of trauma, especially as manure. So I like the analogy that trauma energy is manure, and that is exactly what it feels like, and that is exactly how I have experienced it. That is just poop. Like why did all this poop get on me and all this manure end up in my life and in the way, like when I want good things, instead I got manure, and it's stinky, it's gross, it's disgusting, it's far from what I wanted in life. And someone wants love, connection, creativity, safety to explore and to learn and to grow, to be seen and appreciated, all these things that we desire in life, healthy body, healthy mind, etc. And instead, some of the time, we end up experiencing manure. We end up experiencing something else that hurts and does not feel good or smell good or look good, and is pretty overwhelming to the senses, the smell, to have with us all the time, or on us or something. So, so when something goes very far, doesn't go the way we would want it to, and it goes very far in a different direction that ends up hurting a lot, we could call that trauma, capital T or lowercase t, it doesn't matter. It's any situation where we aren't able to handle, to process it. So it's a situation where we were more scared than we had the current capacity to process and handle, more afraid, more ashamed, more any emotion that we weren't equipped to handle, or any life situation that we didn't have a broad enough or an adequate perspective to help us get through it, then stuff can just get stuck. It can just get stuck in our body, and just the trapped emotions of it, the shock energy of it, all kinds of stuff can just get stuck in our energy field, and now just gets carried around with us wherever we go. And unfortunately, okay, so let's ask, or should we we'll do an example first. So say, no, I'll do an example and then I'm gonna back up a little bit. So say two people are born into the same family, and they feel that there's not enough love to go around, these siblings, and so they're very competitive over trying to get love from their parents, and to be seen and feel loved and appreciated and supported and everything, and they don't feel like there's enough to go around, and so they fall into different tactics to try and get love and acceptance. And one of them goes full codependent and has no boundaries, and is needy and is not able to take care of themselves or their own needs, and they need their parents' guidance and support a lot. And they make themselves really small and helpless and disempowered in order to, this is just one version, this isn't the definition of codependency, they make themselves really small and weak and disempowered so that they will be needing, and this is all subconscious usually as well, I'll mention that. Everyone's not necessarily a conscious mastermind trying to like strategize, it just happens. Our system is really brilliant and genius, and it just happens subconsciously. Or this person's subconsciously agreeing, their system says like, we need to get love, we're gonna try it this way. We're gonna be helpless and need a lot of help, and be willing to shapeshift to become whatever our parents will love the most. Like if our parent loves, sporty people, we'll become sporty. If our parent loves sad people, will become sad. Like whatever my parent wants or loves or gives attention to, I'm gonna be that. And that person is just giving their power away and becoming disempowered in order to try and get love. So the other person might strategize their system subconsciously, say like, oh, well, I can't win at that game because that person is better at it than me. So instead, I am going to be the best. I'm going to be a straight A student. I'm going to always be perfect. I'm going to follow every rule. and I'm not gonna ever need help with my homework, or I'm not gonna ever need help in any way, and that's got to win me love, right? And so both of those, anywho, and then the other person would become, could become even more burdened by the other one winning in any way. When the one that needs a lot of help gets help, this one will feel like, oh, I'm losing love, like this hurts. And when the other person, the parents say like, wow, good job getting an A+ or straight A's, then that one can feel a lot of pain of, oh no, I'm losing love, they're winning the competition. Okay, so that's a little story about 2 different types of trauma. And both of those strategies and of not being in power and in alignment with their core self are gonna hurt. They're both gonna walk away from that with wounds and trauma of having felt like there wasn't enough love and acceptance in the first place, and then the person who feels really disempowered, legit, from having done that so much, and the other person who feels like they have to be perfect in order to be lovable. Okay, so both of them are going to end up with poop, manure all over them from that experience that they're going to need to clean off later. So unfortunately, sometimes it's not apparent after we end up with trauma on us or manure what to do with it, and sometimes we end up throwing it at other people because we're so mad that it's on us. Sometimes we end up just sitting in it, just sitting in manure. Sometimes we end up eating it, just like consuming it, engrossed with it, and it stinks. It does stink. Pun. It stinks that we ended up with manure on us in the first place, and often that we can get stuck there and say like, I just wish this never had happened. I feel like that's the best situation, is that this never should have happened. God shouldn't, or my creator and source should never have let this even happen to me. What am I supposed to do with all this manure on me? Well, manure is amazing for fertilizing. It's wonderful. It's not good for eating. It's not a good thing to throw at people. It's not a good thing to just sit in. It is amazing at fertilizing. And so we have the opportunity to use all this manure to fertilize things. So specifically, whenever we have manure or trauma, it is a gift, and it has a gem inside of wisdom. It's showing us what was not alignment, what did not feel good, what did not feel honoring, what did not make us stronger. And with that, we can find the truth. We can find wisdom. We can find what feels more honoring than that. And we can become wiser and more empowered. We can also gain skills, all kinds of things, by using that, choosing to go through the motion, collecting all the manure off of us, and then using it to fertilize something good, to use something good. So both of those people, both of those siblings, have the opportunity that they can clean off the manure and say, what can I use this? What can I use this to do good with? Well, they learned from their own experience that trying to be perfect hurt and didn't work very well in a lot of ways. Therefore, something else, if they look around, they'll be able to find something else that is more true and that is more honoring to them, and that actually does produce good fruit, does produce good outcomes for them. And they could even look at the other person and notice the strategy that they used that got poop on them, and know, okay, and it's not that one either. I'm wiser. I know that perfectionism doesn't work, and that trying to be pitiful and making myself small doesn't work either. So if I look around, I know, like, if there's like a continuum, and like perfectionism here and powerlessness over here, it's going to be somewhere else on the continuum, not either of those places. So that's giving us clues and knowledge and wisdom and information to know we must look elsewhere besides these 2 places. Look along that line, that continuum, until we find something that actually has good fruits, that makes us healthier, stronger, where we do actually feel loved and appreciated and accepted. And then that can lead them to wisdom. and they can use the empathy. They can use lots of stuff to help nurture growing something healthy instead. And you can gain a lot of tools and awarenesses and knowledge, and you can turn to your to people, to wisdom around you, and it also can turn to your source or your creator. You can choose to use this and use as an invitation to go find what feels more true, and then commitment to become that like, okay, that hurt so bad that I want to do something to help produce more good in the world, notably people feeling loved and accepted. So I'm going to use this awareness of how much it hurt to not feel loved and accepted or appreciated as an awareness of how valuable that is. Boom, that's another one. Knowledge of how valuable feeling loved and accepted is. And I'm going to proactively choose to voice my love for people, or voice the things I appreciate about them, so they can feel that acceptance and that being seen, etc. Okay, and then I wonder what other ways you can think to use trauma energy for fertilizer, for something good. Because it's we get to choose. It's on us, it's ours, it's on our energy field. So we have the choice and the option of what we're gonna do about any manure we find on ourselves. Okay, thanks for joining me today. If you would like more insights or suggestions or even energy sessions, you can find me at releaseandrisehealing.com. All right, have a great day.